Grace and peace to you. Welcome to Morning Watch. I'm Rob, one of the pastors here at White Plains. Glad to have you with us today on a Thursday. Yeah, a little raspy today. This is where we gather for a song and a thought for the day. So glad you're with us whenever you're watching. Hope you're staying warm and safe. Good morning, Kenna. Good morning, Terry. And good morning to you whenever you're watching. Thanks for being here. Hey, Keith. Hey, Florida. All right, well, let's begin our time together by going to God in prayer. Help me call a blessing down, for I think our poor old world needs it. A blessing of peace, a blessing of the ordinary, a blessing of national life without chaos and personal life without fear. Help me pray a healing down, for I know how much we need it. The strengthening of the bonds between us, simple respect and patient listening, a new beginning for us all. Help me welcome the sacred down, the wide-winged spirit drawn from every corner of heaven to walk among us once more, to show us again how it can be, when justice is the path and love the destination. Amen and amen. So, in this latest edition of the Big Songbook that I've had various editions of, most of y'all have had these as well. Collection of songs curated by Johan Anderson. In this latest edition, there's a whole bunch more songs in it than the last one, and a lot in the back that are some I don't know, but some I do. And here's one right below, oddly enough, Ring of Fire by June Carter Cash. And as sung, of course, by Johnny Cash and June Carter. Ring of Fire. Ring of Fire. That might be more appropriate for my voice this morning, actually, now that I think about it. But I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to do the one below it, which is On the Turning Away, which is a Pink Floyd song. And I can get my collar turned here. And it's it's from the 80s. I say it's fairly recent, right? It's 40 years old. It's hard to believe. See, I think of this as a new Pink Floyd song because it was written after the breakup with Roger Waters. But it's from 1986. I tell you, I don't understand how time works sometimes. But here we go. It fits for what we're talking about with our devotionals. On the turning away from the pale and downtrodden, and the words that they say, which we won't understand, don't accept that's what's happening. It's just a case of all the suffering, or you'll find that you're joining in the turning away. It's a sin that somehow light is changing to shadow and casting its shroud over all we have known, unaware how the ranks have grown, driven on by a heart of stone. We could find that we're all alone in the dream. There you go. Yeah, actually, that fits the voice okay this morning, too, with David Gilmour being a little raspy when he sings it. I think I pointed out the last time I did this song that there's some really excellent a cappella versions by, the like college choruses and things like that of that song on the Turning Away. If you look up on the Turning Away a cappella, you can find some good stuff. All right, so today we start, appropriately enough, on the rung of community in our book Ladder to the Light by Stephen Charlson. We've been through the rung of faith and the rung of blessing and the rung of hope. And now we are on this rung of community. And you could tell where this was leading in the last few excerpts in the previous chapter, because we were talking about hoping together and finding our common hope, right? So the first post in this section, hey, good morning, Linda. First post in this section says, now belongs to love. We will not deny the dark clouds, nor will we fear them, for struggle is nothing new, because no hope is born without it. Why should we be afraid of the dark when we carry the banner of light? Why should we bow our heads when we can see the horizon? Come, let us stand together, let us walk together, sweeping away the shadows with our song. We draw 1,000 more to join us as we reclaim the land of life and restore the home of health. This is the day to rejoice, though our task is far from done, for now belongs to love, and today is when tomorrow begins. Charlson writes, once we begin to embrace hope together, we create community. We recognize that the spiritual life is not just about ourselves, but all those who share in our struggles and dreams. We are not alone. Spiritual community is sometimes portrayed as a sing-along around a campfire. It seems sweet and sentimental, but nothing could be further than the truth. A spiritual community is more like a labor union. It is a community of workers drawn together by the pressure exerted on them by the darkness, who are determined to protect the weak and to uphold justice. The community is tough and accustomed to struggle. It is designed to face the powers of injustice and privilege. And doing that is no sing-along. Faith, blessing, and hope bring us to the fourth rung on the ladder of light, because through them we begin to recognize one another in a new way. Not by the color coding of oppression, not by the exclusive religion of private salvation for a few, not by social status or any entitlement of privilege, not by any measuring stick of our own design. Instead, on the fourth rung, we accept a powerful, liberating realization. We are all the same. What we have. We will walk together through this lonely stretch of road, all of us who have come this far into the valley of shadows. We will not be afraid or anxious, for we have one another. We have our shared strength, our common wisdom, and our collective memory to help us through whatever may come. We have the quiet counsel of our elders and the boundless energy of our young ones. We have the depth of faith of many courageous hearts. We have the resilience and experience of all those among us who have passed this way before. And when the going gets hard, we have 1,000 voices to sing. Singing so we go, as we go, along the twisted path toward higher ground, where the shadows will be far behind us. And Charlson says, in this book, I call us the tribe of human beings for a spiritual reason. In the dominant culture, the word tribe is often denigrated to imply a primitive community. But my intention is to recapture that word from the mindset of colonialism and place it where it belongs, in the organic definition it represents. Long ago, he says, my ancestors understood that there were many tribes, but they were not talking about other human beings alone. All the living creatures of earth constitute a tribe because they are all part of the same spiritual nature. Bears are a tribe because they all possess the deep spiritual nature of being what they are in creation, bears. So do eagles. So do wolves. So do buffalo. So do people. And if we use this ancient context, tribe means same. The same spiritually. It suggests being of one substance with the Spirit, because the Spirit is the creator of all that exists, the maker of all things. Therefore, the tribe of bears is of one substance, not just with other bears, but with the Spirit, who first willed bears into existence. We can speak of a spirit of the bear because the Spirit is within the bear. In the same way, we can speak of the spirit of a human being because the Spirit is also within us. And as we've seen in earlier chapters, the Spirit dwells in us, intimately blessing us for a reason. In the darkness, in the valley of shadow, we can feel isolated and afraid. But once we have the light of hope, we begin to see how many people share in our struggle. The first step toward community is recognizing our common humanity. Instead of seeing strangers in the dark, we recognize fellow climbers in the light. The darkness foments racism and bigotry to prevent this simple act of recognition. As long as human beings feel estranged from one another, suspicious and afraid, then community becomes impossible, and resistance to injustice becomes less likely. Seeing one another for who we are, therefore, is vital. In that single and simple moment of recognition, in that spark of light, when we understand our shared identity, we begin to resist darkness. We begin to become the same. Yeah, I think the act of labeling people is one of the greatest temptations that I fall prey to. But if you've ever been to the Holocaust Museum in Washington, D.C., you see that the genocide started with ideas. It started with propaganda. It started with naming a group of people, not just Jewish people, but gypsies, homosexuals, classifying whole groups of people as part of the problem. Basically, anybody who's not like us as part of the problem. Well, that's not a sin of fascism alone. That's a sin that we all can commit. I'll often dismiss somebody because of a Facebook post or a comment or something like that. Oh, they're one of them. You know, that's on me for not knowing that person better, for not knowing the Christ in them, for not seeing the Spirit in them as the same Spirit that blesses me. And I think that's what Charleston is talking about here, is finding kinship and commonality and tribe with everyone. Not just those that we're drawn to because of a particular cultural bias or a shared ideology or even a shared theology. But rather being open to the possibility that the Spirit could bring together very, very disparate people for a common purpose. Climbing from darkness into light. All right. I don't know about you, but I've got to meditate on that one for a while because it convicts me in here. No longer am I pointing the finger at someone else and saying, oh, you're dividing people. You're doing this. You're doing this. No, I realize I do the same thing. All right, folks. Thanks for being here. Amen, Kenna. All right, I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. May you find peace and purpose in this day. And I'll look forward to seeing you tomorrow for another Morning Watch. Take care.